year 11 et bienvenue au corps pour jeudi. Right guys, I'm sorry I can't be there en vrai in person today. We're doing interviews today, so I am currently stuck with Mr. Hume all day long. So I know you think you've got it bad, those of you at home, but I definitely swap places with you all right now. So even though I'm not there, I've recorded a lesson so everyone in class, everyone at home can still get the same experience or as close to the same experience as we can get, because it's really important we finish the course. We've done this module because you know it's going to be a substantial part of your SAGs, so we've got to get going. So you know how this works. Donc s'il vous plaît tout le monde, il faut ouvrir les cahiers, copier les lettres, copier les titres, et vous avez un contrôle de post-it ici. See how many of this control de post-it you can get. Whoever's covering me, if you can put me on pause for 2 minutes, just while year 11 get the date, title, and have a go at control de post-it. They can usually do this talking to each other. Good luck everyone. Restart the video en 2 minutes s'il vous plaît. Allez. Hello, right guys, so you should have the date, title, post-it note challenge in your book. We're going to go through the answers in a second. Mais en premier, let's just see where we are in terms of this module. So look at the things we've already covered. We're up to this really tricky bit now, which is talking about ethical shopping that we started looking at last lesson. Now I know it's intense vocabulary, I know there's a lot to do, but this year 11 is what it's all about. If you can produce French at this level, if you can talk about real serious global issues in French, that just shows how advanced your French is, the pinnacle of what we've got to, and the examiner will love it. We can really justify it, the best SAG we can give you. So I know it's going to be tough, I know the vocab is insane, but it's going to be worth it. Today we're going to test you on ethical shopping, right? And we're gonna revise the 3 things we've already looked at in this module, but for this we're going to look at that advanced vocab we looked at last time, and it's all about the reading and listening. You know, as soon as we can, as soon as Mr. Red tells me after Easter, we're going to do a reading and listening assessment. Today we're going to look at those really tough, challenging texts with loads of French you don't know, with loads of unknown language you have to work out. That's what today is all about, those skills. Let's have a look and let's get started then, guys. Alors mes enfants, so this is how the lesson will start. We'll do a little bit of a warm-up. The vocab is just so advanced and so specific to the module that we are going to do a remote vocab test today to see what you can do, and then we're going to do reading and listening, really testing and working on those exam skills to see what you can do. That's what it's all about today. We start with our contrôle de post-it. This is what you should have. So what I like, I told you can't use j'aime. There's nothing wrong with j'aime, but in your writing we want you to mix it up a bit. A really nice synonym or an alternative is ce qui me plaît. It's easy. Or you could say ce qui m'intéresse, what interests me. Really nice phrase to get a bit of more advanced French in a really easy way. What I used to like, if ce qui me plaît is what I like, you can say ce que j'aimais or ce qui me plaisait if you're really going for it, which is caused by, this is back from the first lesson we did on this module, qui est causé par. I should do something, Shimon, I'd pick you if I was there. So je dois is I have to, I ought to is Shimon, je devrais faire quelque chose is I ought to do something. Now that is a beautiful advanced phrase that you can put in. We're going to be talking about the environment, like what worries you. That's a really nice phrase to put in. They're exploited. This is a lot tougher. I go for ils sont exploités. They are exploited. And then I will never buy. I know I'd pick you if I was there, because you got this jumbled up last time. The ne and the pas and the ne and the jamais go around the verb. So Anaya, it's also in the future tense. What have you got? Incorrect, Anaya. You should have je n'achèterai jamais. I shall never buy. That'd be the perfect answer. Right, guys, if you're sitting there thinking, oh my god, I got none of these, I'm not surprised. This is a tough post-it note challenge today. We are working at the most advanced level for GCSE, and that's going to carry on today with our first activity. Je vais expliquer en français, mes petits. Alors mes enfants, on va commencer avec un contrôle de vocabulaire parce que le vocabulaire est essentiel pour ce module. Je vais expliquer ce qu'il faut faire en français, donc écoutez-moi bien. Et voilà, donc vous savez ce qu'il faut faire pour question 1, 2, 3 et 4. Comment dire en français pour moi? I know this is difficult, mais pensez de le dernier cas, comment dire les choses ici en français. Et pour question 5, 6 et 7, ici, vous avez le vocabulaire en français. Il faut mettre les mots dans la boîte, dans le bon espace. Par exemple, Les produits pas something sont souvent something dans les something en Chine. So les produits pas, what do you reckon? The cheap products, inexpensive products are often made. Comment dire les choses ici? Il faut choisir les mots ici dans la boîte pour compléter la phrase. Alors, it's going to be more difficult today without me there to help you. And I know 1, 2, 3, and 4 are really tough. So this is what I'm going to do. Pas you cannot use your books, right? I want you to really test what you know. Mais je veux 3 minutes de silence, mes enfants. 3 minutes de silence. Et puis, je vais vous donner 1 minute où tu peux comparer et discuter avec votre partenaire. Donc, ça fait 4 minutes ensemble pour moi, s'il vous plaît. See what you can do, guys. Really test yourself. It doesn't matter if you don't get 8 today. It doesn't matter if you don't know this. This is the key vocabulary we're going to work on today. See what you can do. 4 minutes in total. Free and silence. I'll give you 1 minute to work with your partners and see if you can do it. There's a really difficult extra challenge as well. You can have a go at 1 mark for an attempt, 2 marks if it's perfect. Whoever is covering, if you be so kind as to time them for me, please. Can you, I'm always this polite, year 11 will tell you, can you please put me on pause for 3 minutes, and then when they've had that 3 minutes, restart it and give them a minute to discuss and compare with their partners and see what they've got. Alors, bon courage mes petits. I've printed off the sheets for you so you can write straight on this worksheet and stick it in your book. You don't have to copy anything. Bon courage mes petits. Vous avez 3 minutes en silence, 1 minute avec votre partenaire. Pause me now. Thank you. I'll go through the answers when you restart the video. Merci. Allez. Alors les enfants, right guys, if you're listening to me now, you've had your 4 minutes and you've restarted me because you want the answers. Pretty tough today. I'll be really happy if you get anywhere near 8. I don't think anyone's going to get 13 today. Right, let's go through it. One of the advantages, il y a plusieurs de moyens de dire ça. On peut dire l'un des avantages, the other way is l'un des atouts. You could say l'un des positifs, any of those would give you the mark. If you're close, I want you to give yourself the mark today because I'm not there to prompt you and help you out. Numéro 2, the workers are underpaid. There's a different ways to say this as well. I go for either les ouvriers ou les travailleurs. Both mean workers. You're going to see both today. Les ouvriers ou les travailleurs sont sous-payés, or you could have put mal payés or sous le minimum or anything like that. Anything you've done to try and express that, I'll give you the mark. Alors, numéro 3, that creates jobs in poor countries. This is one thing that capitalists say is an advantage of globalization, is that these poor countries, they're grateful to have these jobs that pay them $1 a day or whatever. Alors, donc, I'd say, cela crée des emplois dans les pays défavorisés. Now you can say des pays pauvres, poor countries, but it's more like polite. It's more advanced to say des pays défavorisés. If you're close to that, I want you to give yourself the mark. Numéro 4, it's a way of creating jobs. So you know it's a way of, we've learned it in loads of contexts. It's one of our key recyclable phrases. C'est un moyen de vider la tête. C'est une façon de oublier mes soucis. It's the same thing here. All you need to do is tag and change it and adapt it for this module. So I go for either c'est un moyen de créer des emplois ou c'est une façon de créer des emplois. You could say c'est une manière aussi if you wanted any of those. Give yourself the mark if you are close today. Right, 4 marks down. I imagine some of you got 0 on that. So the gap fill is going to be a bit better for you. Hopefully, this is what you should have for number 5. Les produits pas chers sont souvent fabriqués dans les usines en Chine. Voilà. So what does this say? Pas cher. Cher is expensive. So pas cher is inexpensive, or what we say like cheap, like a nice clothes. So les produits pas chers, cheap products, are often made in factories in China. I had that word usine on the board last lesson. You need to know it. It means factories. It comes up all the time in this module. Numéro 6. On devrait boycotter les grandes marques, mais les personnes défavorisées n'auront plus d'emploi. What a sentence this is, right? So you know on your SAGs there's going to be a writing assessment on module 8. If I were you, I'd learn sentence 6 off by heart and just drop it in, sprinkle it into your assessment because it's an amazing sentence. It says, will you tell me, one ought to boycott big brands, but poor people would no longer have jobs. Amazing, amazing sentence. If you got that, that's 4 marks. Well done, that was tough. And finally, numéro 7, c'est mieux pour mon empreinte carbone si j'achète les produits fabriqués en France. It's better for my carbon footprint if I buy products made in France. That's for French people, obviously not British people. So there you go, guys. A really good effort here. Here's your extra challenge. Je suis d'accord, or je suis en accord. There's different ways to say it. Que il faut faire quelque chose. Les ouvriers sont exploités. Nous on pourrait boycotter, or nous pourrions boycotter. If you're close to that, give yourself 1 mark. If it's perfect, yeah, right, give yourself 2 marks. Guys, add up your grand total. I don't think you'll get 8 on that without me there. So anything close to 8, I'm very, very happy with. If you've absolutely flopped this, I'm not surprised. It's really, really tough. Just go and spend some more time learning this difficult vocabulary. All right, guys, add up your grand total, put your mark on that sheet. When you're ready, restart the video, and I'm going to go through the next challenge. Alors, mes enfants, right, guys, so we know the vocabulary, or we know it well enough to understand it. What we're going to do now is go into a really, really tough reading and listening activity. You know this is going to be part of your exam, so I want to remind you of our key strategies. You might think you need help for this task, mais tu as tort. You don't need help because you got exactly help. This is what I want you to do today. It's down to you to prepare. You're going to be more independent without me there today. This is what I need you to do. I'm going to go through the challenge. Use help to help you today. Alors mes petits, right guys, this is going to be a really big challenge for you. Remember, I want you to use the questions first. So put it as a whole activity. Activité 1, help les questions avant commencer. Let's have a look at these questions. Et voilà mes petits. So you can't even read the text yet because it's incomplete, because we haven't completed it. We're going to do that as a listening. You don't need to. You're going to read through this and see what you can do. Donc, help les questions. All the questions are in English today, which on one hand is good because it will give you an overview of what's a really difficult text. On the other hand is bad because it's got no vocabulary we can compare it with, so you've got to do the hard work. So what I do, and what some of my best students would do, I taught a girl once called Olivia Bagshaw. I really stole this from her because she used to do this on every question. She took A-level as well, and she was so good. I was so impressed. So this is what you need to do. Go through these questions and just talk to your partner for a couple of minutes and see, right, if there's any language that you can expect and you're looking for. Let me give you an example. Numéro 1 dit, who thinks companies should guarantee a minimum wage? All right, minimum wage. Surely that's easy to find, like high salaries. Who's talking about paying something? The word minimum is the same. Like, I'd write any words that can link to that down. Number 2, who thinks workers' days can be too long? All right, how'd you say hours? How'd you say days? Who's going to be talking about that sort of thing? Number 3, who mentions the carbon footprint of clothes? It's hard to say carbon footprint any other way. Who's talking about clothes in general? Maybe they're talking about factories. Maybe they're talking about fabriqué en Chine. This is all language you can go for. I want 3 minutes now. Whoever's covering, can you put me on pause, please? 3 minutes now. Can you read through these 6 questions? Just talk to your partner. Prepare it like it's a real exam question. All right, somebody please pause me now. You might want to put a student in charge of the recording. They'll be good at this. Someone please pause me now and then spend 3 minutes. Talk to your partner or talk to the people around you if you're not got your partner next to you because they're at home. Can you see if you can work out these 3 questions? After a couple of minutes, restart me. And I'm going to play the text to you so you can read along and complete it. Alors, 3 minutes mes petits, put me on pause now. Allez, on y va. Alors mes élèves, right guys, so now you should have analysed those questions and you're ready for the text. Here we have 6 people. Alors, donc, ici on a 6 personnes. Dans quelques secondes, je vais jouer l'enregistrement. Il faut écouter l'enregistrement. Il faut lire le texte et essayer de compléter le texte pour moi. Now, completing it, it won't matter. I'm not there to like pause it for each time. So just try and complete it as best you can. I'm just going to show you the answers anyway. The whole point of completing this test is just to get you thinking about the vocabulary, like making the link between how a word sounds and how it's written, and just to go through the text ourselves. So don't worry if you don't complete it. Like, that's not the task here. The task is to answer those questions in activity 1. So just listen and read through when I play it. You need to listen to these 6 people and match them to the test, to the questions in activity 1. So you've got Ethan. This is cool Ethan, much cooler than our Ethans. Toby, Leila, Margot, Esteban, and Blanche. Listen to it and then match them up to the 6 phrases. That's your second activity today after we hear it. Et voilà. here's activity 3 and 4. Like, donc c'est comme toujours, hein? Activity 3, these 6 words are somewhere in the text. You need to look through and see if you can find them. They're really useful phrases. As a result, apart from that, you can use these. They're really good. Your extra challenge today, see if you can translate these phrases. It links more to your homework. That's going to be really, really, really tough today. Alors mes petits, first activity, right? We've got to complete the text and then you're matching up. Et donc, right guys, so we're going to all listen to the text together now. Then once we've done it, I'll put the answers up and then we can match it up and you can do that on your own. Alors mes petits, right guys, so I'm going to play the recording out now. You need to read along and fill in those gaps if you can. Now, if you're at home, you can pause it when you want, fill it in and then restart it. If you're in class, you're just going to have to do the best you can. I can't pause at my end, so it doesn't matter if you're getting the gaps or not. The important thing is you're reading along the text and you're listening to how the word sounds and what you put in and seeing if you know this vocabulary. But literally on the next slide, I'm going to show the answers, so don't worry about it. All right, read along. Here's the listening. Écoutez-moi bien. Allez.
Page 167. Exercice 5. Écoutez et lisez. Répondez aux questions.
Les produits pas chers sont souvent fabriqués dans des conditions de travail inacceptables. Les ouvriers sont sous-payés et leur journée de travail est trop longue. Du coup, si un produit est bon marché, je ne l'achète pas.
Je suis d'accord. Trop de travailleurs sont exploités ou exposés à des risques. À mon avis, on devrait boycotter les grandes marques qui ne respectent pas leurs ouvriers.
On pourrait les boycotter, mais ceci dit, les gens dans les pays pauvres ont besoin de travailler. On devrait plutôt forcer les grandes marques à garantir un salaire minimum.
Pour moi, le prix est important. Cependant, je pense que c'est mieux de payer un peu plus pour avoir quelque chose de qualité. On devrait tous acheter des habits issus du commerce équitable.
À part tout cela, il faut réfléchir à l'impact sur l'environnement. On devrait acheter des vêtements fabriqués en France. Comme ça, on sait que l'empreinte carbone de nos habits est moins élevée.
Oui, en ce qui concerne le shopping, tout le monde devrait essayer de respecter l'homme et l'environnement à la fois.
Alors, essayer. We learn that very phrase. Tout le monde devrait essayer de respecter. Love it. These are really nice texts, but they're really challenging. You know what to do. Je vais réexpliquer si tu sais pas.
Page 100.
Et voilà, right guys. This is the completed text. These are the things you were missing. Now you need to complete activity 2, no activity 1. Yeah, and activity 3. Donc, activité 1, il fallait trouver la paire entre la phrase que vous avez et la personne ici. Ethan, Toby, Leila, etc. Activité 3, cherchez dans le texte pour le vocabulaire. Right, I'm going to be put on pause. Let's say for what? Let's give you 7 minutes to do this. So if you're at home, can you put a timer on your phone pour 7 minutes pour moi, s'il vous plaît? Whoever's covering me, I really appreciate you. Please to just put a timer on your phone for 7 minutes to check them and see what they can do. Et bon courage, mes petits. Vous avez 7 minutes. No silence. I want you working with your partners. You'll soon be doing this on your own. See if you can work with your partners and work this out. 7 minutes, mes petits. Bon courage. I'll go for the answers when you restart the video. Allez, on y va, allez. Alors, mes enfants, right guys, if you're listening to me now, your 7 minutes is over. You've tried your best at this activity and you're ready to be prêt pour les réponses. Donc, on y va. I'm not just going to say the answers. I'm going to show you what they've done in the text to get the answers. And that's obviously really, really important because that's the skill that you'll need for your exam. See all the tricks they use. I'm going to use help to show you how to do this. Alors donc, le premier, who thinks companies should guarantee a minimum wage? So use help, locate it in the text, and then that's the person. Here we go. I've gone for blue, so I haven't put their names up here. because it's quite obvious with the highlighting, even for you lot. So Leila is the one who says it. She says we ought to rather force big brands to guarantee un salaire minimum. So Leila, c'est le premier réponse. La deuxième, who thinks workers' days can be too long? C'est Ethan ici. He says leur journée de travail est trop longue. Difficult, right? So you know, journée means day, so their working day is too long. That's a tricky way to say it. Well done if you got that. Ethan is number 2. All right, who mentions the carbon footprint? Il doit être esterin. He's the only one who says empreinte carbone. Sometimes they call it an empreinte écologique, so your ecological imprint. Both of them, just look out for that word, empreinte. So on sait que l'empreinte de nu habite est moins élevée. This is what you need. All right, la quatrième, who thinks we should buy fairly traded clothes or fair trade clothing? C'est Margot. She says on devrait tous. We all ought to. That's a nice phrase. On devrait tous acheter. We ought to all buy. Or you could say on devrait tous utiliser les transports en commun. On devrait tous, whatever you want. Really nice phrase. We should all, write that down, use that. So we should all buy des habits issus de commerce équitable. So I talked about this last lesson. Issue is a faux ami, a false friend. It doesn't mean an issue, it means coming out of or exiting from. So this says we ought to all buy things coming out of like free trade or fair trade. Alors, le cinquième, who thinks that both people and the plane should be considered? Think that probably should say planet. Who thinks both people and the planet has got to be Blanche? She says this lovely phrase, tout le monde, everyone, devrait essayer de respecter l'homme et l'environnement à la fois. Et finalement, who thinks workers are exposed to risks? It is obviously Toby. He says it here, trop de travailleurs, too many workers sont exploités ou exposés à des risques, and that's you should have. So, Leila, Ethan, Esteban, Margot, Blanche, et Toby are your 6 answers. Give yourself a mark out of 6 for me, please. Let's look at the other activities. Et voilà mes petits, donc il fallait chercher dans le texte pour le vocabulaire ici. Some nice phrases here. As a result, c'est du Q. So Q is like a hit. So like you can say like a hit from that is how they say it. You could also say pas résultat. Pas résultat, which is an easier way, which is the way that is more French, but they're not going to put that in your reading because they'll know you'll work it out. That said is ceci dit. You can say cela dit and ceci. It's like saying having said that or this said, same thing. However, is cependant. Don't know why that's in there, you knew that. Apart from, à part tout cela, that means apart from all that. À part is apart from, à part tout cela, apart from all that. In this way is comme ça, like that. And then finally, as far as whatever is concerned. En ce qui concerne l'environnement, en ce qui concerne le climat, la pauvreté, les pays défavorisés. It's a really nice phrase. Guys, give yourself a mark. Well done if you got into that. Any marks on this would be really, really good. Alright, I'm going to go through the extra challenge really quickly. Here's the first 4. So, c'est fabriqué, c'était fabriqué, ce sera fabriqué, et cultivé et récolté. And finally, ils seront transformés. This is the passive voice, right? This is A-level French. If you're interested, it's EBI 30 on another video. Can't get enough. Have a little watch of that. You don't need this for GCSE, but you're going to see it. But it's easy. You could have worked this out. Alors mes petits, right guys, you're doing really well on this video lesson. I imagine it's quite hard work. So we're going to move on to the hardest part, listening. Now, you know how challenging that listening is, and it's one skill that we did a bit when you were at home, like we did as much as we could, but it was quite difficult to do it at home properly, and it is quite difficult to practice. It's much better doing it in class, so we're going to have a look at one now. Let's see what we can do. All right, you will be doing a listening exam after Easter, so let's go through the tactics. First thing, just like help get the most out of the questions. Donc, je vais expliquer l'activité 1. Pour l'activité ici, vous avez une phrase, par exemple numéro 1, pour cultiver le coton, il faut beaucoup, et après, il y a 3 possibilités. Il faut beaucoup de patience, il faut beaucoup de terre, il faut beaucoup d'eau. Donc, la première chose à faire, traduisez la phrase. To cultivate cotton, yeah, it sort of works, to grow cotton. Il faut is you have to, but in this sense it means like you need. Il faut beaucoup, we have to have lots of, and what's our three possibilities? Patience. C is water. What's la terre? Earth or soil. So you need patience, lots of soil, or lots of water. Which of these three do you need for cotton? We're going to listen. Il faut choisir la bonne réponse. A, B, ou C. Easy. The activity is easy. Choose the right one. The tough thing is look at these sentences. Do you know what they all mean? What you need to do right is work through all of these and make sure you know them with your partner. Tell you what, put me on pause, read them through, see what you can work out. And because I'm not there today to help you with keywords like blanchir, restart the video after a minute and I'm going to go through it and I'll just break it down for you. So if you'd be so good as to pause me now and then restart me in 1 minute, I'm going to go through what these answers are or some of the vocabulary. Alors, 1 minute, mettez-moi ce pause maintenant. Alors mes enfants, right guys, if you listen to me now, you've had your minute with your partner working these out. I'm going to go through them. We did the first one together. La deuxième dit, si la culture n'est pas bio, beaucoup de something sont utilisés. This says, if the culture isn't bio, lots of something are used. So we don't call it bio, what do we call it, like eco-friendly? No, there's a word for it. What's that word for farming if it's got no pesticides in it or whatever? Organic. I paused you and googled it. It's called organic farming. All right, so if the culture, if the method of farming isn't organic, lots of what are used. Produits verts, green products, pesticides, et produits recyclés. Alors la troisième, une t-shirt produit des émissions CO2 car a t-shirt creates CO2 emissions because it, A, est transporté sur de longue distance, is transported for long distance. B, est blanchi. Blanchir is to whiten. You might have it on your toothpaste. If like you get Colgate or something, usually it's got loads of different languages on it. Blanchir is to whiten, like to blanc. Et C, est fabriqué sur place, is made in like on site. Et finalement, numéro 4, des produits chimiques sont utilisés. So again, it's all about your linked vocabulary. You learnt la chimie, it was a school subject, it's chemistry. You learned that when you were a little kid. So now it's chemical products are used pour rendre les ouvriers malades, to make the workers ill. No,
Page 167. Exercice 3. Écoutez et choisissez la bonne option.
Quel est l'impact d'un simple t-shirt sur notre environnement? D'abord, pour cultiver le coton, il faut beaucoup d'eau. Et si la culture n'est pas bio, beaucoup de pesticides sont utilisés. Un t-shirt peut voyager des milliers de kilomètres avant d'être vendu. Donc, les émissions de CO2 sont importantes pour son transport. Un simple t-shirt consomme de l'énergie. Ensuite, des produits chimiques sont utilisés pour rendre le coton plus doux ou plus élastique. Ils sont aussi utilisés pour teindre le t-shirt, pour changer sa couleur. Tous ces produits devraient être réglementés car ils peuvent avoir un impact sur la santé des ouvriers.
D'un simple t-shirt sur notre environnement. D'abord, pour cultiver le coton, il faut beaucoup d'eau. Et si la culture n'est pas bio, beaucoup de pesticides sont utilisés. Un t-shirt peut voyager des milliers de kilomètres avant d'être vendu. Donc, les émissions de CO2 sont importantes pour son transport. Un simple t-shirt consomme de l'énergie. Ensuite, des produits chimiques sont utilisés pour rendre le coton plus doux ou plus élastique. Ils sont aussi utilisés pour teindre le t-shirt, pour changer sa couleur. Tous ces produits devraient être réglementés car ils peuvent avoir un impact sur la santé des ouvriers.
Tricky number 4, made trickier by the tricks at the end. Listen again. We're going to listen to it one more time, see what you've got, check your answers, and then I'll show you the transcript. All right, final time.
Page 167. Exercice 3. Écoutez et choisissez la bonne option.
Quel est l'impact d'un simple t-shirt sur notre environnement? D'abord, pour cultiver le coton, il faut beaucoup d'eau. Et si la culture n'est pas bio, beaucoup de pesticides sont utilisés. Un t-shirt peut voyager des milliers de kilomètres avant d'être vendu. Donc, les émissions de CO2 sont importantes pour son transport. Un simple t-shirt consomme de l'énergie. Ensuite, des produits chimiques sont utilisés pour rendre le coton plus doux ou plus élastique. Ils sont aussi utilisés pour teindre le t-shirt, pour changer sa couleur. Tous ces produits devraient être réglementés car ils peuvent avoir un impact sur la santé des ouvriers.
Alright, let me show you the transcript. Let's see what we've got. Et voici le. Guys, here's our transcript. Give it a read through. Talk to your partners. See your answers. See what they've got. You can correct them or change them now before I go through it. Have a little read through this transcript for me. Alright, some really nice vocab here. If you're still reading, don't worry. I'm just going to go through some of it. Plus doux means softer. Doux, masculine. Douce, feminine. Who says doucement, just like calm down. Or it's a nice way of saying be quiet. Doux is soft. So chemicals are used to rendre, is to put back or to make the cotton softer and more elasticated. See how advanced this is? Ils sont utilisés pour teindre le t-shirt, pour changer sa couleur. Teindre is the verb to dye, to change its color. All the products ought to be regulated, like checked with rules, because they can have impact on the health of workers. But do they? All right, let's go through the answers. Et voilà, so this is what you should have, guys. You should have, to cultivate cotton, you need lots of water. Didn't know that. If the culture isn't, what's that word again? No chemicals. There are a lot of pesticides used. A t-shirt produces CO2 emissions because it's transported long distances. Cotton doesn't grow here, grows in like Caribbean, Asia, hotter climates, so you need to transport it to create it. And then finally, chemical products are used to transform the cotton, to make it softer, to make it more elasticated, to dye it. That was the only tricky one, number 4. 1, 2 and 3 were all right. Give yourself a mark out of 4 for me, please, guys. And the extra challenge was, you need lots of, is il faut beaucoup de. And then finally, before being sold, I'd say avant d'être vendu. Right, a really good effort today. Okay, guys, hopefully it is close to that hour mark. I think it probably is. If it's not, I am going to talk about the homework very quickly, and then you might have to just get some revision out or something if you've got some time left in my cover lesson. Et voila. Right, guys, so your homework I set last time. This isn't a new homework. I should probably change that meme because it's not really appropriate now. So many Year 11s are off. Never mind. Right, so I'm not re-recording this now. Right, guys, so you've got to do homework for next lesson. I know I said I'd take your books in today, but these interviews weren't planned when I said that, so it'll be next lesson I'll take your books in. You need to get onto this for me, please. You've got daily tests, you've got 2 daily tests, and then this reading. Make sure this is complete for next time for me, please. Get on it, guys. Right, well done for working so hard today. I'm sorry I can't be there. Hopefully I'll see you around school today maybe, but I'm sorry I can't be there. Hopefully this video has helped you out. You've still had some practice with the people in your class, or at home you've had a go and you've studied hard. Yeah, well done for that. I know it's a lot harder to do it this way. If we're not up to the hour, can you just get some revision out, or get some French revision, or any revision you can? You should have some revision with you just to tide you through to the end, and to give whoever is covering me an easy time. Right, thank you for working so hard today, guys. I will see you when's our next lesson? Tomorrow, period 1. Excellent, easy. All right, I'll be testing you on this. See you period 1, everybody. Merci, au revoir tout le monde.